you had some man in your back porch. Explain the story to me.
Yeah, so my first Zoom meeting of the day was at 1:15. I didn't have any appointments in the morning. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams in Lincoln. And so I was in my bed reading the news, drinking some coffee, getting ready to jump in the shower. And I could hear some sirens or something outside, but I don't know what was really going on and whatever. I was obviously not looking at that news when I was reading the news.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I heard something downstairs and I thought, whoa, is this like, what's going on? Something's going on here. I was the only one home. My daughter had gone to school. My son's at work. Anyway, so I go downstairs and I'm listening, kind of, doing that John Belushi thing. I'm listening and I don't hear anything. So I'm in the kitchen and then I hear something in the basement, a little rustling or something. I'm like, ah, crap. So I go downstairs on the landing going downstairs. I've got a big flashlight, one of those big old mag lights, right? They're just, right? So I grab that for a weapon because I think there might be somebody down there, So I go down to the bottom of the stairs, flip the lights on, nothing. Go out in the middle of the room because there's 4 kind of rooms down there in the basement. So I go out in the middle of the room and I hear something and I turn and look and I can see part of this guy's clothing sticking out from behind the HVAC unit, right? Okay. And so I say, look, guy, I know you're down here. Come out, and nothing. And I said, look, I can see you. You need to come out. And so he comes out and here's this kid. I don't know if he was 17 or something. And I go, the police are looking for you. I can hear them outside. I'm not going to help you. You can't stay here. You got to go. You broke into my house, right? Yeah. And he's like, but my hand is bleeding. Can you help me? He comes up on me and his hand's all bleeding. So I said, all right, I'll give you a rag you can wrap around your hand or whatever. We got to go. But I leaned over to get this rag out of a cabinet and I thought, oh man, I'm making myself vulnerable. I don't know what's going on here, so and I could feel the adrenaline. So I looked up at him and I said, I'm not doing that. You got to go, right? You broke in my house. You got to go. That's all there is to it. Oh, help me with my hand. And so I reached in my pocket and I said, I'm going to dial 911 right now if you don't go. Come on, let's go. He turned around. He started going up the stairs. And I said to him, you got to go. He kept going. And he went out the back door. I locked it behind him. And he stayed on the back porch, right? So I'm like, oh, geez. So I go in the dining room and look out the back window. And I could see a sheriff's sniper behind my car. I could see a couple other officers positioned with their weapons out in the backyard. So I'm like, oh, geez, So I go out the front and they're all lined up out front. And I'm like, you guys, he's in my back porch. I found him in my basement. He's in my back porch. What's he look like? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm going to go back in and make sure that door's locked. Don't go back in. I turned around and went back in, right? So I wanted to make sure the door was locked and what was happening, So I went back in the house and I went back to that back door and I could see him tucked down like this, behind my door, right? So yeah, he's like all ducked down, behind the door and he's hiding and they're surrounded him, So while he's down there, I open the door again and I'm like, look, man, you can't stay on my back porch. You got to go, okay? And I closed the door, I locked it, and then I went back out again. And that's when the police engaged me, They asked me my name and all this stuff. They detained me so, I didn't get hurt or whatever. And I'm like, guys, this is easy. He's on the back porch. Come in the door with me. I'll show you where he's at. Oh, we got a protocol and all this. And so they did what they had to do, whatever. There was a giant paramilitary vehicle in my backyard. They set up a perimeter. They held me up in this cop car up front. And then I took some footage. They went in my front door. I drew them a diagram of the house too, so they could see where he was and all that. And so then they went in the front door and they got him. Apparently he had a gun. I didn't know that. Didn't look like he had a gun to me, but they did find it and it was stashed on the back porch. So there you go.
How does that make you feel? This man was in your back porch with a gun.
Well, I mean, I was just being Papa Bear. I'm a single parent and I got couple of my kids that live with me, so I was just going to make sure everything was safe. Even though there was no kids in the house, I just naturally went in that direction, So really, I still kind of feel that way. It's a little bit of adrenaline. I mean, So yeah, I was just going to make sure the house was safe. That's how I felt. And he was just a kid, so I wasn't threatened by him. And he was really kind of compliant. Like he was trying to get some help for his hand, but other than that, he wasn't pushing or anything. So
they arrested him right on your back porch.
yeah, they were surrounded. They had police everywhere around the house. And like I said, this giant SWAT vehicle in the backyard. So, you know, he had to look out and see this, you know, and think it's time for him to give up. One of the neighbors that was watching from the back said they saw him come out the back with him, and they didn't tackle him. They didn't, you know, do anything harmful to him. They just walked him out, cuffed him, and took him to the car, and they drove off. So.